Hello and welcome to my review of the Custodes Caladius Grav-Tank Annihilator. The reason why I've called it a Custodes and not Adeptus Custodes is because at present they've still just got the beta rules out for the Caladius Grav-Tank, which is the one with the turret-mounted twin-linked Iliastus accelerator cannon. I really do hope that they bring out the 40k rules for this one, which is on with the twin-linked Arachnus heavy blaze cannon, but we'll see. Anyway, this model will cost you £85. It's a fair bit of money. It's been £85 since last year. In the grand scheme of things, it's like £6 more than a Sicaran, which is like a fast medium-sized tank for Space Marine Legions. I'll show you a size comparison with that later on because people requested that. I'm not going to go through the 40k rules because only the Caladius ones are out. When and if they do release the 40k rules for this model, of course I'll do another video. I'll go through the rules, I'll compare them to the main Caladius tank itself. So in this video I'll be having a closer look at the model itself, doing some size comparisons, and then going through the Horus Heresy rules, which you'll find in Book 7, Inferno. So, about this model, very straightforward and simple to make. If you're new to Forge World models and you don't want to get a model that's so expensive and you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, put it that way, this is a great model. Like the Sicarans are great models to do that. Anything where it's mainly resin and there are not too many parts that you'll have issues with, compared to combination kits where you'll have resin and the Games Workshop plastic, I find them more difficult. But yeah, this is a great starting kit. So if you bought your Custodian Guard army and you wanted a Caladius Grav-Tank to accompany the army to give it a bit more anti-tank weaponry, this would be a good way to go. The model itself, I'll just show you the instruction book. This was in the unboxing. Very straightforward. I love these instruction books. I don't think Forge World can get any better than this, and certainly a huge step up from if you bought a Warhound Titan recently, or any of the really older models from sort of 10-15 years ago, then you'll understand where I'm coming from. Those instruction books were just black and white printouts of photos of the model. None of this CAD designed, color coded with descriptions, none of that. It's a huge step up, and it is what's required for a model like this, for a model this expensive too. It went together very well, like I said at the beginning. It's a great sort of starter kit if you wanted to get a resin kit. Obviously you'll need to go through the preparation like with all resin kits, so you'll need to leave it in soak for a few hours, maybe even overnight in warm soapy water. Wash all of that releasing agent off, dry it on a towel, and then you're good to go to clip the gates off, cut the imperfections out, to sand it, and to file it down. Definitely wear some kind of face mask or something to protect you from the dust, because I can't stress that enough, it is really harmful. Plastic, you're fine. Games Workshop plastic, that's not really harmful, but this stuff gets really, really fine, and it's very sticky. It adheres to a lot of things, so just heed my health warning on that one. But the model itself, yeah, as I said, very straightforward, simple to put together. You'll build it, or you'll get to near the end point and you'll think, oh my god, I've almost finished it. Don't rush it, take your time. There are still a few things that you could get wrong. The nacelles lining up properly and fitting together. It's very clear on the camera, at least, that you can see that there's a gap there. So I will need to clear that up, and there's a little bit on the back that I need to clear up. But I've assembled it in my normal fashion, put a very thin magnet this time. I don't know why, but I just put a thin magnet there, and that slots on quite well. I don't need it to be compatible with the Caladius. I just need it so that it's on quite secure, rotates but not freely, and good for sort of transportation if I wanted to use it in a game. I've just also noticed on the camera that there's a blob there. That shouldn't be there, and I'm gonna have to be very careful and cut that out. So good job I just spotted that there, but yeah, before I sprayed it. Great model to put together, no real issues. Of course there's a bit of slippage there and there, And that's the case with all of the grav tanks, even the Palace as well. They all have this kind of similar issue on the back, but that's the only issue that you can see. And there's a bit of slippage sometimes on the bottom end of these nacelles. There's that bit that I haven't cleaned up yet, which I'll need to go back and do. Up to you if you want to drill the holes out. I have for the Lastrum bolt cannons. I haven't for there, but they're quite deep anyway. Really striking looking tank. Comes with this little flying base stand. It might be worth putting some thicker green stuff around that, you know, to sort of blend it in rather than just paint your textured paint over it. And once it's finished, you can just either magnetize it. You know, you can put a magnet in there, and definitely drill a magnet in there, and that'll just slot on, and you can magnetize it on, and then at least you can take it off the base. You know, easier for transport, rather than it coming apart from this. But even if you wanted to just glue it completely, that could still be an option. So size comparison wise, let's have a little look. So I've got a Custodian Guard there. That's the size of it compared to one of those. So it is a nice medium sort of tank compared to Custodian Guard. Next to another Custodian Guard unit, a Contempt Dreadnought there, with a multi-melter. So yeah, it's a fair bit bigger than one of these, and one of these will set you £56. So this is, what's this, about £30 more? You just see how much bigger it is and what you get for your money. You know, so hope that's a good size comparison. And then a Telemon Dreadnought, which is a fair bit more expensive, but not as expensive as the tank itself. So yeah, you can just see how tall the Telemon Dreadnought is compared to it. Next to a couple of Space Marines. So you've just got a normal Space Marine there and a Primaris. It holds its own even around a load of Primaris Space Marines. And then finally next to a Sakharin. So Sakharin is £6 cheaper than this, but the Caladius is, well, it's tricky because this one was a little bit more. You know, the different turret is slightly more. I think this one was pushing 80, but Sakharins are now normally £79. So just it's a bit longer. Height wise, there's not much in it at all. Not much in it at all. They definitely share some characteristics, but maybe it's better if I just pick them up and show you the sizes. Obviously the Caladius doesn't have a, you know, sponsor mounted weapons, but there you go. I hope that helps. Sort of the size comparison wise, the Sakharin is probably a little bit taller, but depends on the base that you put on the Caladius. Definitely its armour is higher. And there you go, the rear. So it's a similar sort of size to the Sakharin. And here it is next to a repulsor tank. So don't really share any similarities other than their hover tanks. I'd say the Caladius is a little bit longer, just with the nacelles. But this is the difference. This is £50 and this is £85, but this is solid resin. You know, so you're paying your £35 more for, you know, more detail, the resin, and all the rest of it. So hopefully that's a good sort of size comparison there with it. It is, what, height wise, I think the repulsor just has it, but then again it's got this top bit, but the armour plates are definitely higher on the tank, but it's just got a smaller turret. So there you go. Hope that helps too. Okay, so this is my part of the review where I'll talk to you about all the rules. As I mentioned earlier, I will be giving you the Horus Heresy rules from the 7th book, Inferno, that came out February last year. You'll find the Caladius Grav-Tank in the heavy support section, unlike in the 40k rules where it's a fast attack choice. Its ballistic skill is 5, so that's 2 plus to hit obviously. Front armour is 13, side armour is 13, and rear armour is 11, and it has 3 hull points. It will cost you 195 points, which isn't too bad, but if you want the twin-linked Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon, which this one's got, you'll have to pay an extra 15 points. So it's going to be 210 points for it. It's a vehicle which is a skimmer and it's fast. It's war gear. It's got the twin-linked Ladstrom bolt cannons, the turret-mounted twin-linked Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon, a flare shield, machine spirit. Special rules are deep strike, outflank, and grav backwash. It can take armoured ceramite, which might be a good option, a searchlight and extra armour. So the grav backwash, unless the vehicle has become immobilised, attackers suffer a -2 to hit in the assault. Now I might have mentioned it in the Inferno book review, but the heavy support section for the Legio Custodes is quite contested. You've got the Sisters of Silence Seeker Cadre, you've got the Sagittarium Guard Squad, which are equipped with the Adrastus Bolt Calivers, which are insane. You've also got the other Caladius Grav-Tank, the one with the accelerator cannon, the Contemptor Galatus Dreadnought, which is the one with the Warblade and the shield. So it's quite contested, as say the elite section. So that's why it's very important to make the right choice of what unit you want to go for. Now, weaponry wise, the Iliastus accelerator cannon is a shorter range. It's only got one profile too. It's a range of 60 inches, strength 7, AP 2, heavy 3, rending, rapid tracking, and heliothermic detonation. It's like a one-shot pony really, but it is twin-linked, so you can re-roll those 3 shots. A lot of damage output, range 60, and it's fast, so you've got a nice effective range there. However, this Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon has 2 profiles. You can use it with you can use concentrated blast or burst fire. Now a concentrated blast is a whopping 72 inches range. That's crazy. It's 12 inches more than the Iliastus cannon, and it's a strength 10 instead of a strength 7. Its AP is 1, heavy 1, and exoshock. So it's a really good anti-armour weapon. Yes, it doesn't have the rending or heliothermic detonation, but you're hitting things at strength 10 at a very long range with AP1 and exoshock. Now exoshock, if you successfully score a penetrating hit, can't see why you wouldn't, but if you do, you roll a d6 and then you've got a 50-50 chance, because if you roll a 4+, a second automatic penetrating hit is inflicted on the same target, which cover saves may not be taken. So yes, with the concentrated blast you're only firing 1 shot, but you've got a 50-50 chance there after a penetrating hit of getting another penetrating hit. So yes, it's 1 shot, but you could score 2 penetrating hits, which could completely blow up that vehicle. The second profile is burst fire. Now this reduces the range to a las cannon range, so 48 inches, strength 8, but it is AP 3, so you're going to be wiping out Space Marine equivalents with this, and you get 4 shots with it. So this is great. Its main weapon on that turret is either going to wipe out heavy armour, or you got 4 shots there that are going to completely wipe out, Space Marines. Knocking 4 Space Marines off a turn, whizzing about at 48-inch range, that's pretty good. And then, on top of the main weapon, you've got the twin-linked Ladstrom bolt cannon. Now the Ladstrom bolt cannon itself is a 36-inch range, strength 6, AP 3, heavy 3, heliothermic detonation. Now 36-inch range, that's not too bad, same as a heavy bolter. Strength 6 is very good, AP 3 is great, and you're getting 3 shots, but you're also getting this heliothermic detonation. Now if a target suffers 1 or more unsaved wounds from the weapon and is not slain, they must take an immediate toughness test, and if they fail the test, they suffer instant death. If a vehicle suffers a penetrating hit from the weapon, you add 1 to the result that is rolled on the vehicle damage table. So that opens it up for vehicles, if you want to shoot the rear of vehicles' armour, you've still got a good chance. It's strength 6, 50-50 chance of getting through, but it's going to be great against characters and things that have 1 or more unsaved wounds on it. It's going to get that potential of slaying them outright. You compare that with the secondary fire mode of the Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon, you're going to be pumping out 7 shots there at AP 3. 4 of them are going to be strength 8, 3 of them are going to be strength 6, at a minimum range of 36 inches. So this vehicle is incredible. It can zip about with a minimum range of 36 inches and just annihilate Space Marine equivalent units from the battlefield. It has the potential of taking that heavy armour out with its concentrated blast. It's no wonder the Orion dropship has a pair of these heavy Arachnus blaze cannons underneath its wings. There is a good reason for that. So in summary, it's a great model, it's a great starting model, you're not going to have too many issues. It's a bit pricey, but you definitely get what you pay for. I really enjoyed the model, and the rules are very decent too. This and the main Caladius tank, a pair of great tank hunters for a Legio Custodes force from long range. That's something that typically Legio Custodes, or Adeptus Custodes as well, have some issues with. The Pallas Grav-Tank, or Pallas Grav-Attack, I like to call it a Grav-Attack tank though, that's good, but it just has the normal Arachnus blaze cannon, and let's face it, that's on the top of a Coronis. It's okay, but it's not the best at taking out tanks. You've got the Agamatis Jetbike Squadron, which are pretty decent because you can equip them with the Corvée Las Pulsar, which is pretty much the same as on the Achilles Dreadnought, which is like a 36-inch range las cannon. But if you want something that can zip about the board, that's got a decent amount of armour, 13 is still pretty good. I do like that it's got 11 on the rear too, and has that minimum sort of effective range of 36 inches with its Lastron bolt cannon, but also the minimum 48-inch range with its main gun. Finding that one-shot 72-inch range blaze cannon is always going to be something that the opponent will worry about. Anyway, what do you guys think of the model? I am over the moon with it, of course. It looks excellent next to the main Caladius tank with the accelerator autocannon. Do you have one? Have you used it in game? How well did it perform? Please do put it in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.